Today I'm going to start this video with a quick life update to tell you guys some of the things that have happened. I feel like the last couple weeks of my videos it's been like life update, but life is happening. Speaking of one life update, behind me you can see the Johnny and June pictures that we had commissioned that are so beautiful, that our decorator just put this gorgeous wallpaper behind, and we hung these lights this week. The news to come along with that is that we are finally doing decor content. And even though I'm working with one of the most incredible interior decorators that does every country music singer and all the stars in Nashville, I feel like a peon, like compared to the people's houses that she does. I feel really fortunate to have her. She is going to come on these videos and she's going to tell you guys a little bit of like the behind the scenes, how she puts these rooms together. And I'm so excited to bring that content to you because I've said this before, but this is the first home that I've decorated. I couldn't really like afford to do it full out before. I don't feel like I've really completely like got the eye to pull them together myself. And I was like, you know what? When I decorate a home, I'm gonna go all out and decorate a home finally. So I'm standing here in my bedroom, like my bed's not made and you know, everything's not together. But one thing that you will see above our bed, another piece of art that an artist put together that's been commissioned, is going to go up there, and it's just going to be really fun, exciting content. I'm just really proud to finally be in a space that I'm so excited to bring to you guys. All of this is coming together and everything's going great. Everything is fine in my pregnancy, but as I alluded to last week when I started seeing the specialist, my diabetes is so much worse this time. Gestational diabetes is what I have. Sometimes it can be progressive in the pregnancies. Mine seems to be. So now I'm on a slow acting insulin injection at night, which it just seems, it's just scary for me. It's very scary. They say that it's the safest thing. I don't know anything medical. I'm just telling you what they told me. They say that none of it transfers to the baby, so it's the safest, cleanest thing versus like a metformin, which is what I used last time. I was able to do that at 35 weeks or so last time, and this time my numbers have already been over. So it's just like this like pin, and I started out with like 4 units and then 6 units and then 10. Now I'm like up to 10. It really stinks, but I am so grateful to have a healthy baby and to be healthy myself. And like I always say, things like this really give me insight and perspective. And since a lot of like my community and my brand and everything and my whole life has been like this living fully thing, everything that I go through myself, it really gives me perspective into someone else's life that I feel like in your head you think, oh, I understand that must be hard. But when you actually go through it, you get a totally different understanding. I have always done a diet or like gotten healthy with the Whole30 or Weight Watchers or whatever to like look a certain way or feel a certain way or just like improve my health. Never was it so that my organs would function properly and so that I could survive. And I have a different appreciation to any person that deals with a health issue like diabetes all their life, or anything even besides that it's just like your body's not working right and you just have to do these things to live. It's not to be in a dang swimsuit contest. It's like literally to live. I just really, my heart goes out to you, and it's given me a small window into those types of people that deal with those types of things, and I just more power to you. I can't believe some of the people that I know that deal with things like this that are just like literally so happy, and you could never even tell. Lastly, as the podcast has continued to grow and be so successful, and just all the content that I truly feel like I was put on this earth to put out there continues to evolve. You guys know that I have had the most, like literally the best in the whole country, I would say the world, literary agent working with me, and we are finally moving forward with a book. And it's crazy. It's amazing. Ever since I was a little girl, I always felt very strongly in the back of my mind like I would write a book, even before I had anything to write a book about. As I continue on and continue to put this content out there and you guys like it, it's just more and more evident. And then the way that this fell into my lap, I'll tell you the story like once we get rolling with it. It's like a God like dropped it from the heavens kind of thing. I just can't say how much I appreciate you guys sharing the podcast and all the messages of everything. It's just been really awesome. Today, knowing that it was going to be like a totally insane day, I did that thing that I told you I learned at the Tony Robbins conference, change your state. So instead of being like, oh my gosh, I'm so stressed, how I'm going to make from this to this to this to this, I said, thank you for this job. Thank you for this gig. Thank you for this appointment and having like this doctor or whatever it is, a therapist or whatever it is that you're hitting in the day. And I just said the prayer this morning of help me to move from one thing to the next easily, not get caught up in my own head about like busyness. Because busyness is like a thing that can destroy your life. It's in your head. Busyness, like I'm busy, busy, busy. I say that all the time, and I'm always like, stop saying that. Everyone's busy. So I changed that around in my head, and it's changed everything. Someone has been chopping here in the kitchen like a little sweet, precious angel.
And I apologize for my appearance. I have a haircut today, and I'm going to shave my face today, so I will look a little cleaner.
Kyle's gotten really into his looks lately.
No, I have not.
If you have been able to tell, he's been really stressed that his hair's been too long, and I was like, do you have a girlfriend? Anyways, I literally have to run out of the door in like 22 minutes. Luckily, HelloFresh meals are super simple, and most of them, because everything's like already done and pre-chopped and measured and all that, you can usually cook these meals in like 30 minutes. Oh, I ain't never seen you chop a garlic like that before. Good job.
I will tell you one thing. I don't know if Mal mentioned it, but we did just get back from Florida not too long ago, and we have our HelloFresh kind of on a schedule, and it's one of the reasons we like it. It's flexible. We changed it.
You like skip a week or change the day. He is correct in that. Look at our new lights too. This is something else that we'll show you is the updated kitchen. Kyle really loves these new lights because it's a disco party when you turn the light off. This is the recipe that we are cooking today. Kyle pronounced it like literally like the fairy godmother on Cinderella, but I'm pretty sure that it's called Korean beef bibimbap.
That is not even close.
I always want to recreate these bowls, and another thing that I love about doing these is it gives me ideas of like what to create, because I do like make up most of my recipes. You see all these things are prepackaged and easy. Oh, look at you. Were you squirting in there, Kyle?
I didn't
soy sauce?
I didn't cut it off big enough, and now
squeezing the living daylights out of the soy sauce over here. Always we talk about something whenever we're cooking our HelloFresh meal. So Kyle said today the subject is dating. Actually, I have been looking at for like podcast topics. I've been looking at like the things that people have been suggesting in the Facebook group and in the comments and in the reviews and stuff like that. And a lot of people, I was like very surprised about this. A lot of people have asked for a podcast on when you're single. They've asked for like, you know, we allude to that time in our lives when we were not together and how that is so important. So we're actually, I think, going to do a full podcast on that. So we'll just briefly touch on some things today. Did you have any words of advice about that, Kyle? Because
about what?
People seem to think you're a relationship expert now.
Bagged you, didn't I?
You did.
So, yes, what do you want? What would you like me to discuss? Single life was a great life.
Okay. I do think that the time when you're single is as critical or more critical than the time in the beginning of a relationship, because in the beginning of the relationship, you're setting up, you know, whether it's boundaries for another person, or whether it's like how you want to be treated, or whether it's just like your routine as a dating couple. When you're single, you are setting up like boundaries for yourself. What is it that I want in a relationship? What is it that I'm willing to change in my life? Because that's another thing that people forget. Like when you get in a relationship, you have to compromise. What were you saying about
Well, you asked me what my thoughts and then just went into your thoughts.
Well, because you just wanted to go into like the single life is like so great. And
No. What I meant was you've got to take advantage of the single life to kind of get to know yourself so you can be the best version of you in the relationship life. What do you think about that, Big Mama?
I've heard
Because first, if you really don't know who you are, what you like, what you don't like, and take that time, okay, if you jump from relationship to relationship to relationship, you never kind of figure out yourself.
I used to do that.
We won't go into that.
I'm the single life. For real though, I think that's a really good point.
So I think it's important, to kind of learn about yourself so that way you can enter into a relationship. You know what you like, what you don't like, what your boundaries are, what your standards are, and all that to really, truly care about somebody.
Because if you don't define those things while you are single, when you get into a relationship, the person you are with will define it for you.
Yeah, and you don't have to know yourself completely. I mean, you always learn and evolve, but just kind of be comfortable with yourself.
And don't be afraid to be single. Like, I was single, the periods of time where I was single are the periods of time where I did the most growth. Maybe I need to be single again. We have a single person in the kitchen right now. We had to get a babysitter for Ford today, of course, because we're about to leave the house.
Her name is Lauren.
And
Her
Lauren.
Instagram is Choose Joy, Give Grace, fellas.
And Lauren
Slide to the DM.
is a single person right now. And Lauren is fantastic. And if we could have Lauren in our house every day, we would. But, what do you think? Do you think that the single life is hard?
I think it is hard, but I agree with the growth thing. I feel like this has been, I'm so grateful for this season. Because it is, you do learn so much about yourself and about just what you want.
Yeah.
Exactly what you said. Super grateful for everything I'm learning through this season.
But you'd be open to someone sliding into the DMs.
I would be open-minded. But their relationship podcast, I would say go listen to because I have the luxury of hearing that like in the home and from them. So for people who don't get to be around them all the time, listen to the relationship podcast. I think that was great. And they're going to do another one on dating, right?
We're going to do on dating / single life / I didn't think people would request that much, but I guess a lot of people that are listening.
And the relationship one, I felt like it's advice I got to get from them when I was going through my breakup. So,
well, thanks, Lauren. I didn't know that.
I had, but then when I listened to it, I was like, oh yay, I can share this with my friends when they go through breakups. Like, it's really beneficial and like good info. I actually referred it to someone last night.
Well, thank you, Lauren.
Yeah.
I did not tell her to say any of that stuff, I promise.
No, she really didn't. I just actually
Little Kyle's over here cooking up some carrots on National Hot Dog Day.
They help you see better.
I know. People did used to always say that. I don't know if that's
They
true.
help you see in the dark.
We've tried a lot of different meal kits. We love doing meal kits. HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit. We've been doing it for a long time. People are like, asking a lot about like, do you guys really like it that much? We actually really do. And we cook it whenever we're not filming it. And it's just like super easy, especially for days like this.
Shoot.
Where it is, a shoot.
I dropped one of these in here. Give me a fork.
It's an emergency.
Edit that. I'll edit that.
You know what he probably will because he wants you to think he's a perfect cook.
I am a great cook, Mal. Everyone used to cook for you.
I know you are a great cook.
Thank you.
I do have one thing that I just thought about that I said, I think in the relationship podcast, but I would have to go back and listen. Do not be afraid to be single, especially if I think a lot of people, when they invest a lot of time in a relationship or when they are older, they think to themselves, I don't want to start over. I think this is it. If you think in your head, I think this is it. It's not perfect, but it's like, relationships don't have to be perfect. But if you are questioning that in your head, I would highly recommend trying out a life without it and seeing if that is the case or not. Because you know what you don't want? To get into a marriage and then realize that. So do not be afraid if you are in a relationship to at least have those thoughts or to explore that, whether you do it or not. I think the strength to do that, if you have that kind of strength, like I'm not worried about you're going to make the right decision. But don't feel like you have to be with somebody just because you've been with them for a really long time. Because lifetime is a really, really long time.
So and which makes me think of the white knight syndrome. A lot of people are looking, those aren't done yet.
I don't know, I was confused about the white knight syndrome. Go ahead.
The white knight syndrome is if you're single or whatever, you're always thinking that white knight's gonna run in on his horse in shining armor, you know? Well, like everything's gonna be solved when you find that magic someone. And that's not the case. That sounded a lot better in my head before I said it on camera.
I thought a white knight was when
I'm waiting on my white knight now.
I thought a white knight though was when a girl like got broken up with and immediately like the friend is like,
the white knight has multiple uses.
I think that since I've been showing you guys these recipes so long because we really like this, you're probably like, oh, I'm seeing the same recipe because we've been doing this for like a year, showing you kind of the behind the scenes of when we cook our HelloFresh. But I actually just looked it up. So there are 17 like seasonal recipes that a chef creates every single week. So what we do is I think we've had this one once before.
Nope.
But you can like pick your favorites and you can repeat those. But there's like a huge selection and they're all super delicious of these recipes. So don't worry like if you've been doing it for a long time or if you're like, oh, I've already tried it out. I'd probably run out of recipe options. There are so many different ones. So I actually didn't even know there were 17 until I just looked it up. Every time I go to like Whole Foods and get my own groceries, I see why they call it whole paycheck. I think that's a very accurate way to describe it. Because it's so expensive and then you waste so many ingredients. So that's another reason that we keep this subscription on. We just really, really love it. They say that it's from $6.99 a serving. So, you know, if you got a family of 4, I feel like that is a lot less than I spend whenever I go to the grocery store. I love, like, when you can try something new and when you can get a discount code. Because, you know, there's no guarantees, but I highly suggest trying it out. And you can get started right now with a really, really good deal. So you can get 8 free meals. So that's basically $80 off your first month of HelloFresh. All you have to do is go to HelloFresh.com and enter my code, and it's Mallory Ervin 80, and we'll write it below in the description. Thank you so much to HelloFresh for sponsoring and collaborating with us on this vlog. We love working with them, and we love bringing you guys our HelloFresh meals.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The finished product looks delicious. Got this good sauce here I made. A little bit of drizzle. Yum.